Hi everyone, welcome. This is Joti Balani. I am founder and managing director of FreshRiver.ai. We're a conversational AI and data science consultancy. We do strategy and delivery for the Fortune 100 enterprises. And I'm joined today by Zhang. Am I saying that correctly?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. He's the Chief Operating Officer of PolyAI. Welcome, Jan.
Thank you.
How are you enjoying the show?
Love it.
It feels good to meet people in person?
It's good to feel, well, it's good to be around colleagues, right, who practice the same thing that we do. We can get a lot deeper into the conversations that we think about every day.
That's right. It's like you can sense and feel that we're entering that pivot point, right, of the rise of this entire space, right? Tell us a little about what problem is PolyAI starting? You guys started in the University of Cambridge, which I think is fascinating. A lot of patent papers, right? What did you set out to solve the problem for, and where are you guys at right now with it?
Sure. So we've been around for about 5 years. We were a spin out of the Dialogue Systems Lab at Cambridge, where a lot of the fundamental speech technologies that we see every day in Siri and Alexa were pioneered and researched. And so our team has been working on the fundamental problem of how do you carry on a human-like conversation between a person and a bot, right? Spoken language conversation, and what that means is, saying however you speak normally, over many turns, with all of the speech tics and variation that you use in everyday speech, in order to solve a problem, right? And that dream has been around in enterprise voice IVRs for decades, and to be honest, it's been a fairly disappointing experience, right? Because it's almost kind of a meme or a joke that these things don't understand people, and everyone knows what I'm talking about, right? And kind of people really shrink into their own, like when you hear like a bot, like an enterprise bot, you kind of shrink into like a shell, and you're like, okay, I can only use certain words.
That's right.
I can only use certain phrases. If I say anything that's too long, it won't understand, right? So what we're trying to do is to liberate people from that shell, right? And so instead of saying something like, oh, I am a bot, I can answer questions about billing, repairs, and home visits, we open every bot with, how can I help? Right?
Wow.
And expect people to just tell us their life stories and go from there.
So, it's interesting because a lot of people, as you just mentioned, right, chatbots I consider old technology, right? That's where we began. Like with any emerging trend, right, there's that infancy period. A lot of people are not aware that we've entered a new era, which is of AI assistance, where there's really true natural language, right? What sets PolyAI apart relative to how you're doing it? If you're able to share any secret sauce things, is it homegrown? Algorithms, what is that?
Sure. I think when you're dealing with speech, the problem of speech is so complicated that to do speech well, it's not just one enabling technology, right? It's not like, oh, we've got the best ASR or our NLU is and we used to say that, by the way, right? But having done it for 5 years and having done it for a ton of enterprise customers with different use cases, you really understand that making speech automation right is, you need many enabling technologies, right? So what if someone is, what if someone is speaking with a heavy accent, right? What if someone is giving you an alphanumeric code, like a VIN number, right? What if someone is giving you a name, and is that kind of a native English name, or is it kind of a name from a different culture? You have to be able to capture both, right? And all of these and more are enabling technologies that we've developed to make sure that a conversation of any sort, right, goes well and goes towards problem resolution, right? And I think that what we found in user behavior is that the more competence the bot displays, the more the user trusts the bot to solve the problem. And so you see a lot of user behavior where they hear it's a bot and they, again, shrink into that shell and then use simple words. And if you get it right 3 or 4 times in a row, they begin to trust it, and they finally then ask what they really actually want to ask, right? The reason why I called is not just to make the booking, but my friend has this allergy, right? And I just want to make sure,
we order the meals on there,
exactly, right?
So the training, how do you actually get the accuracy of speech recognition, right, with accents and languages? How are you guys training those models? Because those language models need a lot of training, right?
So we are we have, being, having an academic background, so our founders were the first group of academics who built applications on the transformer-based sentence encoder model in 2017. We have our own language model that we use called Convert, and Convert is a very efficient model for dialogue, task-based dialogue use cases, which means that whereas other models need tens or hundreds of training samples per intent, we need about 10 to 15.
Really?
Right? And what that means is that we can get to market a lot faster, right? And we can build a lot more intents given the same amount of resources.
Correct. And you don't burden the clients with having to go do the training, because I saw a lot of that happen in the last couple of years, right?
That's right.
And the ROI really gets crushed if you're going to need that much training, because what you're going to save in human time up front, where the AI assistants are replacing, you're going to have to hire as many people, right? Because that equation doesn't work.
That's right.
Talk to us a little bit about the privacy, the security, that framework. How do you guys think about that?
Sure. So, we're a UK-based company, right, which still operates under the GDPR regime, which, save for a few states in America, still has a higher standard of privacy than this part of the Atlantic. And so we take care to make sure that we really only use PII for the purposes of what our clients, the data controllers, want us to do, and they keep us we demand that they keep us on a very close leash and define data retention rules and whatnot, right? So all of that, and sometimes our American clients, look at kind of a 10-page data privacy agreement, and they're like, "What is this?"
That's right?
We're like, "Yes. This is the future, right?" So we've superseded that, and we want to make sure that we're more than protected.
That's right. What does the next 6 to 12 months look like for you guys? I mean, this industry is accelerating, the adoption is accelerating. What are you guys seeing? What's your vision?
Yeah, so two things. One is that the Poly and PolyAI, one of the meanings of the Poly and PolyAI is polyglot, right? So we've always had a multilingual capability. In fact, our team, we're about 120 people, about 100 of those people are in the UK, and we have about 40 passports and about 50 languages amongst everyone, right? So what we've really wanted to do is really deploy multilingual bots, and we're really doing that on a large scale after 5 years of actually doing this. So we're launching bots in France, Germany, Ireland, Japan, the Netherlands, and we're really excited because our core capabilities and the skills of our colleagues finally get put to use. And the second thing is that we're really excited that we're now taking millions and millions of calls a month, right? And really, we're really excited for people to interact with a PolyAI bot for the first time, right? Yeah. So when you're calling into kind of a Marriott, or you're calling Volkswagen for repairs, calling FedEx, the first time you interact with the bot, people are like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that AI could do this,"
that's
right? We want that to be the golden standard, so people can then learn how to interact with bots.
Yeah.
Right?
The last 2 minutes. You talk about having clients globally, right? And having a team that's globally based. Are you seeing any trends emerging where PolyAI is being deployed either functionally or in a specific industry? Like, are you seeing more adoption in certain places?
So after COVID, we've had a lot of interest from the hospitality sector. And a lot of people left that industry during COVID because it was unstable.
Correct.
And that story persists everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people found good jobs elsewhere. And so the hospitality industry has had a lot of trouble hiring people back, right? And so we've helped a lot of hotels in the last 2 years take every front desk call, right? So that the people at the front desk can help the guests who are lining up to replace their keys, check in, et cetera, right? And so that's been a big use case that we've seen in the last couple of years.
That's amazing. Jan, thank you so much. We'll be watching PolyAI very closely.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Take care.